So are these like women's moccasins? So we're making?
Oh, we can make men's moccasins, women's moccasins. You can make them whoever you want to make them for, but we've got, several different styles, several different techniques. So anyway, good evening. How's it going? Already dying. John Horse Chief. I'm with my associate Herman Sleeper. Oh, anyway, we're gonna make moccasins today, and the first step in making moccasins is tracing your foot, and so that's how we're gonna get started. The easiest way we found to do it is to use this cardstock. So depending on the size of your foot, you might want to use that one, or I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, just in case, because.
No.
And then, if you want to trace both feet, you can do that, or you can, just trace one. Let me get you another piece of paper, Rick. I didn't know that one had a. Can you grab one more of these large cardstock? Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to do one, it will usually mirror your left, but if you want to do both, just to be sure, you can. Yeah, so it's better to trace both different ones. So the best way to trace it is to have someone else trace it for you, because that way you'll get a good match. Because when you trace it yourself, your weight will be proportionally. Okay. You get one? Let's do one at a time. You mean trace it for you? Yeah. Okay. So we'll get it like this and just kind of hold the pin straight up. And then you come around the foot as you hold it straight up. But you still want to try and get that kind of like the curve of the instep. Well, it'll get a little snugger fit if you have like flat feet. So if you have flat feet, it'll fit you a little snugger. So you don't want to get too far into the instep, but you do want to just kind of, it is part of your, moccasins are kind of a custom fit. And so that's how kind of feel. But then you can always expand it if you would like to put a insert into your moccasin, like a gel, because they'll stretch too, just kind of on how they fit. And so, cool, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, put right or left on there.
Yeah.
All right. So just hold the pin straight up. Yeah, if you have to put it diagonal, that's fine. This. Okay, you're good?
All right.
You're good, you're right.
Holy shit, he did show up.
Go.
Okay.
I think he's gonna make it.
So we're going to write like that.
Just, you can write it on the heel of your trace. And so just put your right or left on the heel of your trace. You can put, the date or whatever. A lot of times on these templates, I'll save them if I'm making another personal pair of moccasins. And especially if it comes for like the men's moccasins when you have tongues, because you decide your tongue, a template, then you can always recreate it.
Serious. Really? If you don't, when you cut them out, they'll be too tight.
So, yeah, let everyone get traced.
I'd have like a quarter of an inch on each unit.
And then, like you said, you can kind of fill them out a little bit, and then you can always put that insert in there too, if it's real snug and real good, and gives that real good feel. All right, so like Sammy was saying, you're going to kind of trace out your hey, how you doing, guys? We're going to trace out your trace of your foot. So for this one right here, I'll kind of show you a little bit. We'll go like right here, and then go around here like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying. So if you want to maybe make it a little bigger, you can, and cut on the outside of that line if you want to add your insert. If you guys kind of see how You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did last time.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
So just, actually, we're,
That'll probably fit good. So your foot fit on there, it was a good trace. The leather does stretch a little bit too when you get them. So I mean, if you want to make them a little bit looser, I would do like Sammy said and cut on the outside of this line. Or if you want them snug, just cut on the line.
That's what I would trace, well, we traced it out, and I was just gonna cut around it, so it'd be kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, would you want to like kind of round it out like that?
Yeah.
So I learned how to make these from Joe Don Grave, man. He was an awesome artist. He would like, he could do anything freehand. He would make these illustrations while we were in class, and it was like, it's pretty awesome. All right. Yeah, just cut that line around, so over like that. We are. This is part of our outreach to all our constituents, tribal members nationwide. So that's what we're doing. Anyway, so after you get your trace of your moccasin, we're gonna cut that out. So the good thing about, the trace of your sole. The good thing about the small class is that you guys are gonna get done fast. There's gonna be no major bottlenecks.
Do it right first.
Hey Becky, Rebecca, how you doing?
Hello, away.
Away.
Making some home base tonight?
So whole page, yeah.
All right.
Is that okay? Whole page?
Okay, home base. That's right.
So the awesome thing about making these moccasins and doing this class too is that we get to use that language app all the time, and so that's one of the things we're pushing on this cultural trunk is to learn all the Osage words for all our outfit. It's pretty good. It's been real helpful.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a paper my grandpa.
Yeah, a lot of good information. And, hey, what's up, Jen? So, forgot to mention, the bathroom is down here on the right. It's the last door on the left. And we have water if you guys are thirsty too. So, the master basically, but if you need questions. I'm all good.
I'm gonna turn that down.
Yeah, I have necessity, man. I needed it. Yeah.
Sam, I was telling John that, I finally sent off and I got like an eagle. But to find someone to set a fan is really hard. To find someone that will, or
Well,
I
you might have a
would,
class on that.
you need to have one on that. That'd be good.
That's a good idea.
A guy in
Okay.
Oklahoma City
Okay.
showed me how to set. I was gonna say, this guy knows how to set fan.
Well,
Eagle
sign 'em up.
wings and,
So,
Yeah, okay, real. That'd be a great class.
Right now I've got,
No, that's good. Just
Yeah,
leave that.
but, I mean,
yeah.
Perfect.
I would like to, OJ knows, I know that. But then also to beat it,
200 to shade a little bit of. Not gonna work. Hey, what is it? They get there and once you get some shirts on. I don't know. I think they're very nice to me. I bought it. I had two tail sets.
right now I've got 3 wings and I have,
The other tail?
a tail that I need to, right now.
So you'll trace your foot, then you'll round out the shape of your foot, and you'll come up with this shape right here. We use a harder paper, so it's easier to trace on the leather. That's like step 2.
look, I was like, working this other
Wait,
way.
which was the which?
Yeah, but you want to kind of round out your edges, Abby, because your moccasins they're gonna be rounded on the top. Let me round this one out for you here. So So let me show these guys here. You get a trace of your foot and it will come out like this and it'll have your toe indentions on it. What you're gonna wanna do is round these out here. And I'm gonna do that right now and I'll show you what it looks like. So we'll get it like this. We'll round this part out here. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And you're gonna round that out and that's why you get it right now smooth shape for your moccasin, but you're also gonna kind of leave this part in here too. Gonna be a custom fit. So you can retrace it, or yeah, you can see what I'm saying, yeah. There you go. Borrow this real quick. So you'll round out where your toes are at, and you'll get an image like this. It'll be a custom fit for your foot. Yep, just like that.
They're like 3 already.
Good deal.
Hey, practice makes perfect, man. You know what?
You don't say
That's the
that.
truth.
My second time.
Hey, this is my.
But I took
So,
it a long time ago.
You might want to maybe cut this one, and you can always flip it over to the same, or you could retrace it. That'd be the for sure way.
I'll use this one.
Yeah, you can retrace it. It doesn't take that long.
Is that the one using the
Yeah, I mean.
So,
Yes.
Yeah, be a good fit.
yeah.
You gonna do it again?
Yeah, because I didn't round out the corners.
Oh, she actually.
I didn't round it out.
Remember what he said?
That's why we measure
That's
twice.
why we measured
It's
twice.
all right, yeah.
That's why it's not.
That paper's a lot cheaper. than
Pay
that leather.
attention.
Wait, don't move.
I had soap.
Okay.
That's my foot. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead and just round that shape out, kind of make it similar to this one. And or this one, you'll be in business. And then take your time, so.
I didn't want mine to make, I went to last time, because I got it too tight, so.
Oh, was it what you typed?
Yeah, so-
Okay, so now you know. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah. All right, but I think we should select the bottom. So there's 2 different types of scissors you'll see. There's leather scissors, there's paper scissors. You want to use 2 different kinds, if you can. Leather scissors. So after we get our initial shape cut out, we're going to trace it on the rawhide sole, the sole material. So that'll be step 3.
So you don't want soap in there?
I started tying it up, and then she told me I had to take it. I had all the marbles done, I was getting ready to stick.
Yeah.
Do this.
So some of the basic materials you're going to need is you're going to need a pair of leather scissors, paper scissors, and awl. We get all these through Tandy's or online sources, but you're going to need awl for sure to punch the holes. And you're going to need some sinew and a number 4 glover's needle. I'll show you that next.
No, she does. No.
That might be for a small child, but yeah, you can use this one. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm gonna have you trace it over here, so. So anyway, yeah, just pick a spot, try to conserve the, there we go. Sure, no problem. So, yeah. Go one at a time so we don't,
Now we just cut these out.
yeah, just cut them out to that shape.
You ready to punch your holes?
No, they're making small.
Hey, John, did you have any leftover shirts from Wahzhazhe?
For- No,
I don't know.
no, they gave them all away. I'm sorry. They gave them all away. Jim. Oh, I know, man. Just with 7,000 steps. I'm at 10,771.
15.
No, well, hold on.
No, one at a
One
time.
at a time.
One at a time. It's best is to,
Because you want to maximize the
yeah, and
leather.
you don't want to mess
See
up.
how I'm
the
putting mine
cut.
real close together, that way.
And then, whenever you're making moccasins or crafting stuff, you always want to take your time and enjoy the process. It's not a race. It's, it should be relaxing. It's supposed to be. Sometimes it gets very stressful, but.
See, like, I bet you'll get yours on top of.
3 months, 6 months, 9 months, like every time you go that one, they send it back. Every time I take it, we wheel it.
Some lettuce. There you How are those cutting, Margot? Are they cutting pretty good? Are they pretty kind of tough?
It's a little rough over here.
Let me see if I can find it
I
back.
bet,
Sharpest pair before, are they?
No, yeah, they're not the sharpest pair in the drawer. All right. There you go. Try these ones out.
oh yeah, that's there.
Yeah, I can tell a big difference. You been working on any projects lately? Rick?
You know, I haven't done any beadwork in almost a year.
Really?
Just really just angry about that.
Thinking of stepping back from it?
So, just so happened, I started being, I had Vanessa make me some stringers and garters.
Yeah.
And I had her make some tassels on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
cool.
those-
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Will it make a difference if this is, to try to maximize this little corner here? Do that, and then do
Yeah,
one this way?
As long as they fit, oh no, they have to be the same way. So, this is gonna, if you cut them out like this is gonna be the top and this is gonna be the bottom. So, you wanna keep them like this is gonna be the left and this is specifically gonna be the right. So you can do them like that.
Okay, I was just trying to make sure we could use that.
Yeah, that'd be fine right there.
Think so.
Can I use mine?
Take your time, trace them.
Just do it outside.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions, you can type them in and I'll try to answer them the best of our ability.
Is anybody watching this?
It looks like a few are. My boss is, so I'm very, very pleased. Yeah. But yeah, this is like something we've been trying to work on to increase our outreach to, all the Wahzhazhes living all over America. So that's the purpose of this class, to start this. This is the first one, so we're gonna see how it goes and work on better techniques. There's a couple different apps we're using, but this is the most easiest one for people to get on, right?
Yeah,
We're just got to work on getting a different kind of angle, camera set up, see if we can get a couple cameras, one with the overview. But for now, this is just the first. Let's see, where'd those sharp ones go?
I'm using them.
Oh, okay. Let me see. These ones pretty good, Rick?
Yeah.
Okay. It's cut like right here.
Can I use this space like right here?
Sure. Just where they fit in, just want to conserve as much, you don't want to put them like here.
Right.
So you just want to put them on the edge, but you don't want to like make it uncomfortable or have too little material. You always want to have too much instead of too little when you're cutting on leather.
Yeah, get as close to the line as possible.
You try to get a little closer, but that's fine. Just getting the hang of that leather, cutting that leather.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, you gotta show her, because if you don't show her, then
Yeah.
she'll go away.
Well, it's good you're starting young, because, I don't know how to make a pair of moccasins, and it's going to get better.
Especially like if you bought the leather.
Yeah, well, especially if you bought that leather, yeah, it is really, you want to maximize it, because like even these little scraps, you can make all kind of stuff out of
Yeah.
the spacers, you can make so much different things.
So you just dress it.
Yeah.
And it's your livelihood too, or your, yeah.
I just give them a little.
No, you're fine, you just want to always like,
Touch them up.
I'll show you, go like this, and then trace that one, and then trace that one, and you'd be good, you'd be maximizing the leather.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. So the tops are gonna be. I'll be done.
Yeah. We're gonna want to. Well, the leather for the soles is gonna be a harder leather than the buckskin. We're gonna use buckskin for the top, but for the tops, we're gonna use there's a specific name for it. They use a tandy. So let me ask our purchaser real quick.
Hey, what kind of leather do you use? It's like cowhide. It's like a number 6. Okay. By the 6.
Okay, so it's a hide. It's a tanned hide. It's harder. It's not soft like buckskin. So you'll want to. Let me get back to the answer, and I'll put a specific answer here when the class is over. But there's 2 different types of leather you're going to use, and sinew. I can't even do this so long. It was like that one kind. All right. Cool. All right. So
I got one down.
Yeah.
I'm
You get
halfway
some buckskin for you to punch the holes on.
This one, like this, and shoulders.
Okay, weird angle.
Well, that one's broken. I don't want to.
Then just go right here. Yeah. One little piece.
Yeah, I got some.
So this is what we're going to use for the tops.
Cool.
Yeah. good.
Oh, it's
Yeah, good stuff, man. So, yeah, Tony's doing good.
What does this look like?
Looks great, man. It's good trace, good cutout. Take your time on that, going around those edges.
I did it wrong.
What do you mean when you did it wrong? Let me see. What did you do it wrong? Oh, well. You just got this jump start on the next pair. That's all. It's all right. I've done that.
I know what I
so many times.
did, but I was trying to make that fit.
That's what I was telling these guys. I was like,
Wait, but which one is the bottom? This is
well,
the bottom?
okay, depends on what you, this is easier. If you punch the holes on top, it's easier to see on your first pair. And then, but that, if you punch them on this top, and it's easier to see, this will be your bottom.
Oh,
So it depends on what you want. You know, if in particular, you want this on the bottom.
so which one do I need to do?
Yeah, these are the sharps right here. So it just depends on whatever you like better. If you want this on the bottom, like a slicker surface, or you want this on the bottom, it's completely up to you. But you're gonna have to cut another one. You're gonna have to cut either you're gonna have to cut a left or a right.
Wait, is this right then?
So I think you have to trace this one. Because you already have one of these.
Okay.
So you made this
Are you
one.
sure?
So you can do
See,
that.
one foot is just a little smaller, or I know this is a little bit smaller.
You could make it
than
like this and no one would see the bottom. They would sew just the same.
Do you know what?
That would work the same.
And I think I'm good with that.
You find, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with it.
Well, then you're set. So now you're on the stage 4 of putting the holes in. That's all right. Now you're on the next step of punching the holes, and we're gonna do this with the awl. And there's a little trick to this. As you punch your holes that you're gonna lace up your upper sole with the buckskin, you're gonna go out the side of your sole. So I'll show you a quick example, and then I'll show it on the camera. So you'll go through here, and then you'll go through the side. And then you don't actually have to punch all the way through. You can, but it's just kind of making a guide for your needle. You want to give it a little space, it can get a little bite on
You
there.
want to stick back?
How far apart?
How about an eighth of an inch? Would you say about 18 inch apart? And the main trick is coming out the side of the moccasin, like that.
Okay.
And then, but you don't want that's a little too close. So you just want to take your time and go around. Yeah.
I'm taking my time on
Kind of make a hole, sort of like your liver needle.
Yeah, you'll go into it, it'll just guide right through. And so it makes it easier to punch it through. I mean, there's a million different ways to make moccasins, and every tribe has their own ways.
Might be too close.
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit too close. Just come back and set it back there. But some people don't even use the glover's needle, but some people just punch it straight through. And, you know, when you think about the historical sense of this, that people, you know, it was a full-time job, people making moccasins for people to hunt and travel and walk before horses. So how are you coming out? Okay, so we're going to use this to punch through so we don't jab up the table. But it's fine, let me make it easier for you to work with this. And then I'll just, the trick is you're gonna start here on top and you're gonna go through and you're not going through the bottom, you're coming out the side. Yeah, and you're like angling it like this.
Doesn't matter like how, like far levels are from each other?
You wanna make them about like an eighth of an inch apart.
Okay.
Or a quarter, like that, about that far. You'll kind of get a good gauge of it, and just keep going around like that. But you don't go straight down the bottom. You're going out the side of the. Yeah.
I'm putting this on top.
Let me borrow this real quick.
Whatever works.
Yeah, as long as you get a good shape, good round shape. So let me see here. I'm gonna punch a couple of these for you here and show the camera. I had some for.
I messed up on that one.
That's all right. It can be fixed. Let me check it out. That's a little bit too close, but it's not bad at all, though, man. You guys are gonna be fine. Just it's a little bit close. I would be doing them back here if I was you, like this.
Okay.
But you'll get it. This is your first pair, and they're gonna stitch up just fine. That Sinew is real strong. So you're gonna want to punch your holes about this far apart. And the trick to this is you're gonna be coming out. Let me do one real quick. Okay, you're gonna be coming out the side of the moccasin. So you're coming through at an angle, and you're gonna be coming out the side of the sole and not through the bottom. Coming out the side. So you're gonna be punching these holes at an angle, like that. And that's the key to it, because if not, your laces, you'd be walking on your laces and your moccasin would fall apart a lot quicker. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'd space them out a little bit more, but the closer they are, the tighter your moccasin is going to be sewn up and be really strong. You don't want to have them too close.
How you doing?
Yeah.
So this way you can make it however long you need to.
Right. Well, you're just kind of more or less making a guide, so that's good. Just kind of like, then when you sew them up, you'll see where your needle goes next, and you'll be able to sew it easier, because you're going to be coming through with a thick needle to sew up that leather. Let me see. Here's the Mocs class. Hey, this is ours, right? Yeah.
Practice.
Sure.
10 minutes and I'll be back.
All right. Basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said you want to tie it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie up anytime.
So we come to see you at his house. For a while.
What time y'all see?
I usually get there on Sundays, 2 or 3 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
And get something to eat. Just make it right there. Kitchen.
You just punch the,
That's fine.
you know how to punch your holes on there? Yeah. Okay. Well, it's like I said, you're gonna come out the side. Then you're gonna start here. You're gonna come out the side like that. And this is just a good guide for your clovers needle to come through. You know exactly where you gotta,
Not too close to it.
but not too close, because it has to grab something to grab onto. That's how you do that. Go ahead.
Strong.
Work your way around those.
Yeah.
He might be the one. He might be the one. Jordan will be the
You got one of those tape measures?
One in there, so.
What's that?
Each all I'm doing, I'm making sure I don't go.
Yeah, you just kind of make a little guide, yeah, just like that. So now when you sew them, then these will be nice and tight. When you go sew them, then you know the needle will go next.
Yeah. I kind of use my pointer finger and kind of space them out a little bit.
That's a good idea, yeah. You know, you'll develop your own little system to measure them out. And especially after you make your first pair and you kind of go through the process, and you're going to see how it holds the upper sole.
Am I making too many or too tight, or should I go further
I'd
apart?
go a little further apart, but that's still good. That's not too close.
I'm just making more work for myself if I don't.
Yeah, you're making a little more work, but they're going to be super duper sewed on. So. That's the, yeah, it might be waterproof, but yeah. They'll be good.
We're already into winter.
But what we really want to learn next is how to make that upper part. I just know how to make the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Up here,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be that part. You know how in the women's moccasin they had that upper part they sew up there? You know,
Like the flap?
the leggings or
Yeah,
like
leggings.
the leggings part, yeah. So just something new to add on to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard different things about it, but you know, we need to learn how to make it.
He said, but I'm gonna go with this that way.
I'm gonna go with it.
Hey, Jesse.
So I'll be right back. I need to get the tape measure and we'll get ready to cut the uppers.
So far, I ain't going through, so I think I'm doing pretty good.
I haven't stabbed myself with this, so I think I'm good.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah. We got some weird measurement tape measures and they're like, these ones are really inches, yeah. The other ones are.
It feels weird doing it this way. Like it.
Oh, do it on that side?
Yeah. I mean, will it work?
It'll work, yeah, it'll definitely work. You're gonna have a new style, we're gonna have a little more slide to it.
I don't know. I can't get it through.
Well, you don't have to punch it all the way through necessarily, you're just kind of making a guide for when that needle, because you're gonna be using these number 4 Glover's needles here. And then I'll show the camera. So this is the type of needle we use. Let's see if you can see it. It says John James. It's a number 4 Glover's needle. And that is what we use.
What are you gonna make over there?
Roaches.
Oh.
So would that be considered one?
Yeah.
So when you count.
No, here it is. Okay. Yeah.
And well, you can make it one tonight.
Oh, yeah.
My oldest son, he would just.
To get on hold of them.
Was that between the 11? Yeah, well, we're gonna cut up your upper, so we're gonna, all right.
Quit rushing us. Cause you're ahead. Trying to get an A.
Trying to get an
Trying to work that. I know Mr. Chief, I'm already done with my project.
So after you trace out your outline, cut it out, trace it on the hard sole leather material, you cut it out, and you're going to punch your holes with the awl out the side of the sole. That's gonna get it ready to sew the upper on. Now we're gonna get ready to cut the upper part. To do that, we take the measurement at the top of the arch of the foot from the ground with your shoe off, your flat ground with your sock on, and we go across the highest part of your arch. And I'll show you how to make that measurement. So I'll show. Okay, with your shoe off, you're gonna take your whatever measuring you can use a stream or a measuring tape, and you're gonna go across the top of here. Yeah.
That's what happens with Clorox.
Right? So I have to drag it to your own.
Yeah, we just,
So yeah, I do put my finger here, I'll put it right here, and then go here. And so that is 8.
I would give you
8. Yep. You're gonna have 8. So remember that, that's how wide we're gonna make it at, across this one, down across the middle of your upper, we trace it out. So we'll trace it on here, and I'm gonna show these guys an example. Well, you can do it straight on leather, you just gotta be a lot more careful, measure twice and all
All the way through.
sewing a belt on a piece of leather. One chance. See it.
We're gonna get another piece of this cardstock paper here. You'll get your, this is one of these right here, so we're gonna fold it in half. Now we're gonna quarter it to get the dead center of your moccasin. And so right there should be in the middle. And that should be like the highest part of your arch, around here. So we're gonna go here, kind of flatten it out. You know, it's easier to do with a ruler. I have one in my room.
Hey, does it matter what side we do?
As long as you do both sides the same. So
Okay.
if you punch it that side, yeah, you're doing it just right.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing with your feet is like they're mirror images, but they're opposites. So it's kind of do that. And so we'll put it right here in the middle of 4. And then we're going to get this pin. Cool. Right here, just like that. And we'll go here. We'll go here. So we have these guidelines here, so we're gonna leave it like that. And basically, we're gonna trace it from here to here, and then to here. Because your foot is a little bit bigger out here. And then you can draw it down how you want. The more you draw it down out, the more how you flip out your flaps and locks, yeah. So if you want, you can draw this part here. You can go like that, you can come straight down. It's kind of how you do it. Kind of how you.
But it has to be like a dome.
It's gonna be this. It's gonna be this
dome on a straight line. Right?
Yeah, it's gonna be this shape essentially right here. You're gonna kind of come, and you're gonna get this shape right here. Kind of like that. And that's
So we're gonna go straight across the bottom.
I would give it a little more, about a 1/4 inch, but as you sew your moccasin up, it's gonna kind of pull it more this way. You're gonna have extra. So
we cut it.
you're gonna cut that here and trim that off. But go ahead and finish that. I'll show these guys here. So essentially what I was telling them is that you're gonna measure the highest part of your arch across your foot, and his was 8 inches across here. So you put this here, you mark your 8 on this side, 4 in the middle, 4 this way, 4 this way, 4 that way. And then you create this shape basically, and that's the basic pattern of a moccasin upper. I added this extra line because I told them to add an extra 1/4 inch on the bottom, but you can go right around to the bottom. That's all good. But essentially that is the shape you're going to trace out to get your upper. All right, you got yours punched out. Good deal. So you're gonna take this and you're gonna measure your arch.
Okay.
You see kind of see how I did that?
No.
What you'll do with your shoe, take your shoe off with your sock on, and then you're gonna go across here. I would put my finger right there at that line, and then just go across here, and then just hold it like that. And then
Okay.
down.
So from
A little bit
here.
higher up. Yeah, about there, yeah. Yeah, and then just kind of see what that is. So go like,
No, right here.
yeah, that's 6.
Yeah.
6, so yeah, 6 inches across there. So I would write a little 6 in your heel of your original trace out. Your foot.
And then for both.
Yeah, you can put 6 for both. So then, yeah, so then we're going to, you get this paper out of your way. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Clean power.
Yeah, so I'm telling Abby, now we're gonna measure your arch, the highest point. And I'll show you how we did that. So, basically, yeah, if you put like that, then you just.
I grab it like that. Here,
No, you
go across here.
You keep the tape
And
and
then
then
I
to the top part.
got 7?
7.
Perfect. Oh, we're good. 7. And then, you remember how to measure your arch? Okay.
Do I need a paper?
You're gonna write it on your heel, so I write that 7 on your heel, so you know that that's like the height of your arch or the width across your arch.
And you're just gonna take it like that. I'll just grab it right there, set that there, one there. Okay. Just like that. Okay.
8.
Right, okay, and I'll do it on the.
You're gonna put like 8, yeah, right there, so you'll know that's the width of your arch across your foot. All right,
I'll do it out.
yeah, cut that shape out. So then, okay, now we're at the next step. This is a crucial step here for you guys. Not crucial, it's important. Oh, I don't want to say crucial, because that sounds like,
Lives
yeah,
could be
like,
lost.
yeah, stuff's hinging on this, but it's important. So yeah, you got one, and here you go. So I'm gonna borrow your outline, trace. So we're gonna take this to find the dead center, we're gonna fold it in half. And then we're gonna quarter that and fold that in half lengthwise. So when you do, you should find a center point, that where that X is at, right there. So we're gonna set that right here. You got room right here. And then you're gonna put 2 marks here. Right there, you put that 3.5 in the middle. And then whenever it lines up, you're gonna put a mark here and a mark at the 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. And then we're gonna get a basic trace of the moccasin. I'll show you the pattern we're using. Looks like this. Then you'll go about a 1/4 inch in front of your toe where it's at. About that up to here. And so you're gonna round this out. You're gonna round it out. I'm not the best artist. And you can actually redraw this if you want to, but.
Okay.
Fold that one in half.
Okay.
And then to here, and then you can use this and go across the bottom, like go about there. That's gonna be your shape.
Oh, okay.
So, did you guys kind of see how I did that?
Yeah.
I can
No,
help
it's
you. Okay.
So you
you take that, put it back in here,
Yes, perfect.
and then you just kind of go.
Well, you have your measurement of 6, so you're gonna use this ruler and you're gonna put this, so you're gonna get the width across here is 6 wide, so you're gonna put 3 right in the middle, that's half of 6. And then you're gonna put a dot right here, and a dot right there.
So right here,
Yes, ma'am, right there.
and then dot right here.
What, at the very edge of the one right here, that one mark right there. Okay,
And then just kind of dot it out.
Put a dot in the middle.
dot in the middle, yeah.
Where that 3 is.
So the 3's at.
Nice.
And then I'll make this trace for you, then this shape for you, and then if you want to practice it on another one with this foot, you can do your other side, just so you get to complete this process. So you go here. And you come here. You come about there, and then you'll take this ruler and square off the bottom. And I would go down a little bit farther on these ones, right about here. Right about here. And then just draw your straight line across there, but not where it cuts off you want to go a little farther than the heel. Yeah, out there, that's fine. Good job.
And then do the same for the other one.
You could do the same for the other one. Yeah, that'd be good practice for you to get the technique down. But you also could, if your feet are similar, and some people are and some people aren't, you could just flip it over, and this would be the opposite side for that.
Okay.
Because it's gonna have this outer shape here, because there's more of your foot on the outside.
Then you want your moccasin to look like a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want, because then it'll feel like a sock that's kind of like twisted on your
Oh,
foot,
yeah.
if it's not.
Give me that real.
Yeah.
Contact would help.
Sure. So what was your measurement was 8.
8, okay, so.
You're gonna put 4 in the middle. Right there, you put that 4 right there, the 4, there you go. Right there.
And the dot.
Dot.
Okay.
I'm gonna put 1 over here at the 1. Oh, wow. You might have to actually flip this one over. Yeah, you're gonna have to go right here. You're gonna use up this whole space almost.
Okay.
4 in the middle, 4 in the, yeah, there you go. All righty. So next, if you want to, you can find you a good spot over here and trace out that pattern for that foot left, and then flip it over and do the right.
So does the 8 go right here?
Yeah, as long as you got, yeah, you can put a mark here,
Yeah, you can put like half.
And probably.
and then put an 8 over here in there, right there. There you go. And then, you want me to trace it for you, the first one? Sure.
And then we gotta do the left one like that.
Yeah. So you're just gonna take this straight down, like that, and then I would just trace this straight out like that, and that will give you plenty to work with your moccasin.
Okay. And then I'll do the left one right.
Yeah, and just, practice the left one on your own, that way you kind of know how to make the upper.
Okay.
Oh, so one thing, yeah, you just pick a good spot, and then one thing you want, so this is gonna be on the top, you want this on the top of it? This material, okay, yeah, so it's gonna be on the top, you won't see this, because this is gonna be like.
Well, actually, I want this to be.
Okay, so if you cut this one out, this is gonna be on the other side, this is on the right one. And then-
Yeah, just have to do that.
I like doing this side.
Yeah. So as long as you just flip it over and do the opposite shape,
So 4 in the middle.
it'll be fine. And just pick out a good spot. Stick. And then with the scrap, we got all kinds of projects to do, keychains, just different fringes, stuff like that. And even we can make, for the men's moccasins, you make your drawstrings, the extras. All right, good deal.
So, we can just cut this out.
Just cut that out, take your time. Oh, sorry, Rick, stop. Man, I forgot about an important step. The welt. Yeah, there's something called a welt we have to add. Okay, so we just caught it just in time. All right, so the thing about the welt was kind of, they say it was created in like the 1700s when, or the 1600s when, so the Indians took apart a pair of boots and they saw that they had this added piece of leather in here. And you add this piece in and it makes it just so much more stronger. And you ever see people when the soles will wear out or they'll bust out a little bit? If you take them fully apart and you add a new welt in and a new sole, it's like a brand new pair of moccasins. You know, you think all the time you see people with like fully beaded pairs. So it needs a new sole.
Do that?
Yeah, we'll do that, and we gotta add it on both.
On both?
Yeah,
Do I have enough there?
you'll have enough because the welt stretches.
It'll
quite a bit.
stretch out, so your welts will probably hang down.
The welt will go along. Usually the welt is at that part they'll cut and they'll leave it on the back, it trails, and that's where that welt kind of comes from.
So if you want to add some fringe on the back,
Yeah, that's what.
You could do that, yeah.
I want to add like fringe on the back.
We can.
Yeah.
We
I tried to get it my brothers.
Yeah, there's a way to do that.
You know that prairie site that's on Facebook that's posting a lot of old pictures or postcards?
Yeah.
That dude, he said there was a guy there, he was a Kiowa man, and he camped with the Apaches, or he was, yeah, I think he was Kiowa, but Apaches camped real close to the Kiowa, so they call him Kiowa Apache.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this guy, they found oil on his land. He's a really rich, rich Indian. Anyway, he had those welts on the back of his moccasins, and he had some moccasins in there. He went to the meat, and they sit there, and they said he'd stroke those strings. Yes, just burn meat. And so one time he went to meat, and he went out and used the bathroom. And he came back and got in that meat, and he started stroking those strings. He started saying, shit.
Yeah, it was on the welt side.
That was high, right?
Yeah.
Read that. Why, really, I wrote that?
Hey, yeah. So yeah, that's a very important piece I forgot to tell you guys about. But you gotta add it on there after you start cutting them out.
I could just grab this like this and just cut them.
Yeah, you cut the general shape out, But just trying to get as close as you can, take your time.
He wants an A in this class so bad.
You know, the finished podcast, what
We borrow this piece, we can show the camera.
I'm the slow one out of
Take your time, man. It's always best to take your time when you're working on stuff. So, like I was telling the class members, this thing's called the welt. So this original shape inside here, this is the sole. But this outer piece right here, where this little line is, this half-inch line that goes around the moccasin, that's called the welt. And this welt strengthens the moccasin and makes it very easy for it to replace it and repair it. So what we read in the books and what we've seen is that the welt started being added in the 1600s when some natives took apart a boot and they noticed they had an extra piece of leather between the sole and the upper. And this was added in, and it really strengthens the moccasin. So don't forget to add your welt.
No,
Oh, let me see what's going on here.
she just did exactly what, you're gonna have to tell her again what.
Oh, okay, well, you're actually doing okay. You can add an inch around here. Well, let's see, there's two ways you can do this. You can do this pattern, do this trace right here.
So you do both, do the traces?
You do this trace.
Huh?
Yeah. And then when you see this, then you come back in and you add your welt. And your welt's gonna be about that big. Make it that big, because in all reality, the welt's only gonna be 1/8 of an inch wide, just gonna be between your stitch, but you want something to work with. So I would just do that around there.
I'll wait.
Yeah. It's time.
So, okay, is it, I'm marked, so I can see which ones.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that would be enough for your well foot.
Oh, that's right. So should I just do it over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to, the ceiling, you have a quarter right where you're,
Oh,
you
I'm
just
trying
want
to use this, but I guess it's just.
to flip it over, put your point towards you. Yeah. And go down as far as you can with your.
Just make sure it's the flip over, right? So did you trace that top? I mean, let me check it out.
I did this one with this.
That one, okay, so then you have to flip it like this.
Alright. You guys,
Upside down and backwards. Sometimes we've got different angles on this buckskin, but it'll work out. Yeah, I am. We're at this point right now.
Cruising.
Yeah. What's the?
He'd,
You'd be walking out of here with those on, but
I figured, you know, with just this many people, it'd go pretty fast.
yeah.
And you got 20 people in here, everybody's trying to cut out souls. It takes.
Yeah. It takes a little while, but it's fun too.
Yeah.
I think that last year I made it. I did like 2 hours. Just,
Oh, start to finish?
and I put that out and I was starting to lace.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, we actually made like a baby pair in about 4 hours in California.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some of those people were really fast, and so they finished both, but everyone made one, at least one. Yeah. 1 foot. Yeah.
Now, this is where everything slows down when you start lacing.
But yeah, that's when you want to take your time, do it right, and kind of enjoy the process.
See, like, you could, I'm usually on feeders, you could actually feed them before you.
Yeah, some people
put them
do.
on there.
So, the beadwork would be turn right here, huh?
Yeah, you would go a 1/4 inch up. I would go a little bit up, just in
A
case.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we grab those pairs out of the trunk and show them, for an example?
Yeah. Oh, he's.
Oh, it's good, okay. Well, like Sammy was saying, once you get to this point, and Rick hasn't cut his welt out yet, some people actually put their beadwork on first on this piece and then sew it to the, but for this class, we're just gonna make a pair of moccasins and we're gonna sew the upper on and then beat them.
Not me, I'm gonna beat him.
Yeah, so just
When's the next class?
for this class, every Monday, it should take 3 sessions. You guys should all be done in 3 sessions, so 6 hours. You'll knock it out, and you got plenty of time. But just, we've had different class sizes. We'll
Yeah,
have
you got
20 people, 12 people, and all depending on the class size.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then working with leather, you'll get the feel of it after your first mock. You'll kind of, you know, it's different. Different medium, I guess they would say.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool. You just got. This was at a, this is
It'd be nice to beat these.
Oh, yeah. We could show you all that stuff there. It's really,
Should,
I think specialties are really good beat it. So you can
Really?
show you edging,
What if-
rosettes.
Yeah, you can take those and beat them and they come back and like,
Yeah, we can show you that.
well, how about you show us how to do this?
That's a separate class, but yeah, we have that class
It
too,
is?
yeah. It's like, this is just.
But aren't we at a
moccasin.
point where we could beat them though?
That's what it's, yeah, we say that.
You're
Some
at that
people,
point right now.
you're at that point. And some people do, like, a lot of people will do, they'll put in, well, for the women's, they edge them here and they'll make a rosette. And depending on if you want a row, you could add a row around here. But since this is your first pair, you probably just want to put them together and see how they fit. And then, you know.
Hey.
But it's not,
Are you under, my,
it's not hard, it's not hard to be.
I'll take my nails off for this. If I have to do it. I will sacrifice, that's what's making this hard is John.
All right, okay, that's what we were
Then
talking
you
about.
could always just take it home and everything will come back.
But normally you would
Do
move
you know
more
where
over,
it's
like.
Around
Okay, what-
here?
So you're gonna
If you
continue
do
to
them like
this
this,
on
it's
top,
like a
right?
match pair.
Okay, this material? Okay. Well, normally we would do it like this, like on the edge, and leave an edge.
You would come out like that. Eight and a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to like, you can go here.
And do you do like how many beats across 6 or 5?
You can do what you want. You could, you can do. I first,
And 9, 10, something like that. So for me,
Oh, we know they have to be fully
you
beat.
have to be like 14 all the way around. That's,
You know that many?
14 in a row?
that way I can do more patterns. More things.
Do 14 beats, why?
Cold water.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do that. 14.
Yeah. It's
It would be all loose and you
yeah,
don't know how to do it.
you don't know how to do it, yeah.
Yeah, I stick with 9. I can make 9.
9 seems to be good.
They said there's cool water in the fridge. If you want to heat them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody like it?
Yeah.
Bottle of water? There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, Eddie Gray and stuff.
I almost did that.
Rita, when you see that salmon look at it.
Yeah, I
He
learned
knows.
the first time I did that, I cut it and it started out.
So, I was just looking at a pair the other day at this Comanche man had on. It had like a rosette on the top. Those fringes on the back. So I got some rolled fringes.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
How you doing? Back? Yeah, we cut. And then after you sew them,
All right.
you got that sewn piece in the back. Yeah, do you just go to the seam?
Yeah, I just take it.
All right. So let's see here. What material? You want this one on top? This material here?
She was sewing inside.
This guy? Or this? Okay. So just find the 2 spots you see. I think like southern leather is that.
The beaver, just cover it. The beaver goes good.
That's that.
Go
That's that shape.
You over.
So you normally would want to do it like this. See how it is down here?
And
And then, so I would trace, so you got this one
come
traced
around
here.
to it. And you leave.
Trace this one here, and then you remember you have to add that row. So you have to add this. So
Yeah.
So that's the right and then the middle.
That's the left, yeah.
Okay.
Do that right there, you'll be good.
Just turn around it, okay.
Tough. But I was thinking about making some like, meat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could never wear them.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying welt. Should it be, yeah, it is a separate continuous piece, and I will show you 2 examples. We're getting ready to cut them out right now, and so I'll show you about the welt here in a second. All right, so what you want to do, Marco, is you want to cut your welt out.
Dress a certain way.
And this is one continuous piece you're gonna cut out like this right here. So you're gonna cut this one long piece out here.
Okay.
You mind if I borrow this one?
Okay, no. Muskins. They know muskins are nice, they're all the same size.
So on the welt, you're gonna see this right here. The welt is this one continuous piece around here. You're gonna start here and you're gonna go all the way around. and it's gonna be a long string, and you're gonna sew that in between this upper and the sole, and it strengthens it, and you'll see.
Yeah. See those,
So still in the shed. So you're gonna wanna cut that outside welt shape out, yeah. And you're gonna want to, one continuous one cut.
Man, I need some of
Okay, so, and then go around it again.
You're gonna go around that border just like that, yeah, but you wanna make this border real even, let's just get real quick. So you're gonna wanna make this like that. That little thin piece right there is gonna be hard to work with. And that's a little bit too thick, but you just wanna take your time.
big castles on the bottom.
And that is exactly what you want to do like that. You can do it, just take your time, go around there, you want about that thick.
Okay. So, hey, look among you.
Yeah. Still, take your time, take your time.
Turn that key, man.
That's,
It'll take you like 50 minutes.
good things take time.
Really? I said, you know, it goes pretty fast. It's pretty quick. And then after I do the first part, yeah, it's pretty cool. It turned out really nice. He really didn't like that. He wore it home. He's getting ready to run for vice chairman for Pawhuska Trust.
Who's that?
Solomon Jones. He graduated from Fayetteville University of Arkansas.
Pretty sharp.
I had a BS in business. Iraq, Afghanistan veterans.
That place is pretty nice, huh? Casino?
Oh,
Man,
It is so nice.
something else, man, that was pretty.
We were eating
right.
that red room in there, that tribal steak. That thing's as big as your face, man.
Yeah, not that big.
It's about that big, dude. That's a big bone.
That's perfect, man. Cut that shape out, and then you can cut it with those if it cuts it, as long as it does the job. But then you're gonna want to cut this whole piece out here, and then technically you don't need this bottom part here. You're just gonna have like a U shape, but just go ahead and cut this whole piece out, and then we'll cut it separately. These are two separate pieces. Sure. Very comfortable. All right. Yeah.
What you're doing over this. Oh, really? You see mine, I paid for mine. I had the dogs howling. I grew mine. Really? That's the way to go. Throw your own.
Should I cut that part out?
You can cut it off, or you can just trim it at the end.
Okay.
When you actually get done, you're gonna, you might be better to have a little bit extra. This is the,
You know that, that's all those names are, those towns.
No, it's-
Ruby Springs,
Ow.
or Silo Springs, or
I think that's
Pepper
right,
Springs, or Salt Springs.
yeah, cut out your well.
We went on those trips. Those things. We had that tour. Be scary there.
Hey, where do you sign up for that tour? That they're having in Nashville?
Okay, that's through the historic preservation, and,
Is it Dr. Hunter?
Dr. Hunter, that's an
I'm
amazing,
gonna go this
it's an
year.
amazing trip.
I know.
So, Margot brought up the historic preservation trip, and it's a really good trip, if you ever get a chance to take it.
It covers like Missouri.
I'm
Homeland.
not sure, it's like, this was like Four Corners area, so it's like Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, that area up there, I believe, I'm not
It's
sure.
up like 4 places, at least.
But, yeah, it was awesome. We went to, well, we went to, this one was more like St. Louis area, Cahokia kind of visit, the last one I went on. It was
I went on
cool.
that one too.
Yeah.
I went to Cahokia, Eagle Mounds, and Sugarloaf,
Yeah, yeah,
Manside, I went to all of them.
man. We got up there, we was like, man, I wonder what these guys were up to, right? They must have been, they built that giant mound and like
That's
everybody
crazy.
was into it. I mean, there must.
We went out there, I went to that women's march like almost a year ago.
Mhm.
And old Mary Jo and I went there.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer. Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah, right there.
Right. Right here.
Yeah.
and there were, this is right when it was just bitter cold. But anyway, I've never seen that many deer in one location. We counted almost 45.
Out there at the,
Out there, you know when you can go walk all the way around?
uh-huh,
On that very, very north side.
yeah.
Because then across the road was where those great big pillars were.
Yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
beautiful.
I mean,
out
there were that many deer. I've never seen that many. They're
Yeah.
just sitting there looking at it.
Yeah.
In Arkansas, it's all.
They move along good.
Here,
But when have you ever seen like 50 deer all together? Just sitting there looking at you.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Really?
I got hurt.
Around here?
Out at the farm.
I think the most I've seen probably like 8.
I seen like 10 or 12
There's a 50. And then there were some in the trees and you could see
in
them.
my neighborhood. In my neighborhood. Really just posted up in somebody's front yard, man, they posted up.
Yeah.
Lots of people drive by.
I seen eagles like that. I seen, they had to be about 50 of them. They was out in this field, and they were all in these trees. It looked like they were migrating, like go to the Keystone Dam. Cause they were just
Fishing.
like 10 or 20 of them would fly off, and then 10 or 20 more were flying those trees. And they were like bald eagles and gold eagles, it was all together. It's crazy.
I'm not in the camera right now, so I'm happy.
So
Yeah, so those bald eagles hanging out together?
8-inch all
That's
over
pretty
around.
cool.
All right.
I've never seen anything.
Oh, yeah, no, this is I haven't seen a lot of bald eagles lately, though, or been seeing a lot of pictures of them. But yeah, this is what you're gonna use to connect this to this right here. So,
Hang on to them.
yeah.
He's gonna beat his.
Oh, you're gonna bead yours? Okay, yeah, so you're gonna need that. So once you take one of these, boy, it'll be easier to keep your stuff together.
You got a marker?
Got a marker? Yeah. Okay, so when you get to this point with your welt cut out and your upper, you're ready to start essentially stitching your moccasin together. And this is the part where you make it. And so, this is where we at right now. 7:20. So right now, since there's 3 classes, you guys can either, we can start this step, or you can come back next week and start sewing. It's kind of up to you if you guys want to.
The next step, what you say, the next step?
The next step is now that we got all the materials prepared, got everything, is to start stitching it, sewing it with the sinew and the needle, lacing it together.
Can you just like do something to demonstrate it or something?
We could start, or we can, it depends, but we're gonna be here no matter what. It's basically,
Yeah.
we're gonna show it.
I'm thinking about, coming back like maybe sometime through the day. And so you can show me at least, I honestly, I'm gonna do my nails, so don't tell me. In order to, you know,
Safe for me, but yeah.
I can't do anything with these nails.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's like I can't grip to
So I'm just
do it.
gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait
Here all the way
to
down.
do that.
Sure, no
And then
problem.
just leave it back.
But yeah, when you do, call lace them up, you're gonna use a pair of pliers. It's a little, making moccasins is labor intensive, but it is,
John, you probably wanna show him that cut in there too.
yeah. Okay, so you're gonna use these? All right, go ahead and show where the cut, and I'll explain it. So right now, we're gonna cut the slot where your foot slides into before you stitch it.
So we do the same,
Yeah, so you're gonna quarter it,
Really
and
almost
then whatever side that you're not gonna,
I forgot which side.
Well, I think you said you put this one on, would you wanna put this on top? Or did you wanna put this, it's your pick, you just have to do them opposite. I mean, so no. You want this side on top? You want this material, or you want this on top?
Well, this one has marks on it, so I probably want this on top.
Okay, so we're gonna put this on top, let's mark the inside of this one.
Okay.
So we'll fold in quarters,
Yeah.
you're gonna fold your upper like this,
I
and then you're gonna quarter it,
think I'm gonna beat to this
and then
side.
you're gonna put
Oh, yeah.
dock right here,
And it's wider.
and then
But
you're
actually, I should have beat to this side because.
cut a line right there. That's gonna make it.
Oh, yeah, this
Hold
side,
it, yeah.
then this side.
Yeah, so when you're sewing
It's kind of
it,
hard to.
You do it.
clean
Here.
up.
that's where your foot's gonna slide into. And as you sew it, you're gonna probably go up a little farther, but that's just a good guide.
If you're gonna pull it, you're gonna see. If you're just gonna do one of
Don't cut it too thin though.
I'm
Yeah,
not,
we
it's
can-
like cutting shirts off like,
Just cut it.
you don't cut
It's
shirts.
one continuous piece, yeah, no, it's like, it's gotta kind of look like this. And worst come to worst, you can always just take a piece of leather
Yeah.
and cut you a piece a ½ inch wide or a ½ inch wide, that length. And it will shape around you. The leather is really pliable, easy
Is
to
that
work
too
with.
thin?
Well, you're gonna need it definitely at least this thick to go around. Yeah, you cut it a little too thin there. You need to cut this part out and just leave that outside. I'll just cut that off, yeah, and then just so, this one, no, it's all right, it's the first one, so, I mean, what you're gonna do, Gage, is you're gonna get it like this. You're gonna cut this line right here,
You gotta cut this like this.
and you're gonna go all the way around. You're gonna use this is gonna be your welt.
Oh,
You can cut it.
That's what that is.
You really wanna. Should wait.
So just go ahead and keep going around like that. I like this side. I like that side that you're gonna pick too. This like kind of smoother side, the top of my moccasins. But then they always say that it's easier to clean these with the chalk.
That's why I was telling him, I said, I wanted to beat it on this because it's wider, it's better,
Yeah,
but, to clean them.
to keep them clean. It's easier with that chalk on that one side.
That's why I just fully beat mine.
Just fully beat them. Yeah. That's one way. That's one way to get around
Don't
that.
worry about cleaning them,
Yeah, let me show them. Borrow one of these right now.
man. You dance faster.
So,
So they're talking about these two textures on the upper sole of your leather, and one's going to be like a smoother, shinier side. I don't know if you could, it's going to be hard to see, and one's going to be a little bit more like rougher, not as shiny side. There's positives and negatives each side. This one a little wider, stands out a little more. This side it's not as white, but you can clean it a lot easier because these white moccasins will get dirty, and you can use chalk or dust to make these look a lot whiter. So that's the difference.
And then like
Like no one's even watching. I'm just talking.
no one's even watching.
No one's even watching. Yeah. Anyway.
Do you get questions on it?
Yeah, I did get questions about the welt. You
Hey,
can't
let me go
understand
to
me.
it and
That
then
well, I need
I'm
to
gonna
speak a
show
little clearer. Yeah, feel free to check in. Ask me a question. You can ask me a question on here too if you want to. Oh yeah, we will offer this class again, and we have it during the daytime. Come by 8 to 4:30. We have open studio.
What is the,
Monday, Tuesday, Friday. We'll help you make all this stuff here.
Wahzhazhe Cultural Center?
Wahzhazhe Cultural Center.
So keep it all together, right?
Yeah.
They were just like really flashy.
So, now,
Just put this on here.
so this is what we got, these two together.
Do you want to start one?
Yeah, you can put your welds in.
Okay,
So,
we'll need this
and
long
then
piece.
they'll like to take them.
Is this the,
Yeah.
You got two of them and they're pretty decently
yeah,
sized?
I'm just cutting the bottom off.
Okay, yeah, this will work. This will work good. You know, the tie right here, but yeah, it'll work. Perfect.
And then how do I do that little cut in the middle?
Okay, so if you get the cut where your foot slides into, take your upper sole, fold it in half and quarter it again. Did you want this material on the outside or this material?
This is on the outside.
Okay, so we're gonna put a mark on the inside of this other material here. We'll fold it like that. Get it like that, and then just put a little dot somewhere right there.
Put this all over.
Go ahead. That's fine, yeah, because you're gonna, it's just a good guide. And then as you make it and your foot fits in there, you're gonna either, that's good.
So what are we doing?
And so then, so you're gonna cord this on this one leather like this, and then you see this kind of like straight line right here. You can kind of see a line.
Yeah.
If you folded it, And you're just gonna cut that right there. That's where your foot's gonna
So you just fold it like this.
Hold it like this.
You just fold it.
go like that, and then fold that in half.
Then
Take
fold
all ready.
this one more time.
Yeah. And then put a little dot there. That way you have a guide to cut towards. Yeah.
Okay, this is it.
Wow.
That's right.
Just have that thing and then take a right here.
Yeah. And then you're just gonna put a cut right there, but you don't wanna, you have to leave here, so that will,
Yeah.
that's where your foot's gonna slide in.
We have 450 views.
Oh, that's awesome. Good, good.
And I'm only going to just
All the way
put
down
it
to the
online.
bottom.
Poke your own
Yeah.
holes for
So you
yeah.
want to
And
cut
then
this
you
one
just
off.
use that Sinew thing. Go through it like that's the old style. That was the old way.
Look, we'll just.
She was doing it, man. She was doing it faster than people would do.
So the next step, you wanna wait till the next class.
I'm not with the next one.
Yeah, this is usually where we stop in the first class.
I'm still not sure where,
I'll show you kind of how it's gonna lay out, though. It's gonna be on top. You're gonna put this on this. It's kind of hard to see, because you're gonna flip it inside out. So then to make these two match up, you do them oppositely here. And so you're gonna sew, you're gonna go through here and sew through both of these.
That's
Then you're gonna flip it inside out.
I want to get home, I can
And when it flips inside out, it's gonna be on the edge of your
Oh,
moccasin,
okay.
like that.
make.
You've seen that?
yeah,
Right, yeah.
okay.
Okay, so yeah.
That Fayetteville. It's in,
All
right
right,
in the middle of
then-
Fayetteville.
I'll put this together.
Sure, yeah. Put your name on there. and-
I think the most, that I can edge it and then maybe put a little rosette on it.
Yeah.
And then,
All right.
You can have it pretty quick.
what's Fayetteville like? It's pretty good. Pretty fast. Yeah, it's a college town. Yeah, it's got a,
Where do you live?
in Fayetteville,
Oh, God.
so it's college town. And it's good. Then you got suburbs, you know, you got Springdale and Thomastown, and then you got
I like Thomas.
Bentonville. Bentonville's just like 20, 30 miles from
Do they still have that steak and spaghetti restaurant in Pineville?
Yes.
A.
Yes.
We gotta go
Caesar
there.
salad's cool, man. I just had one.
Oh, yeah.
$10.
Man, yeah, that's good salad.
Caesar salad. It's good salad.
We were talking
Yeah.
about eating a good steak, you know, if you go to, that Ruth Chris over at
Yeah, in
River
Tulsa.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's one of my
That's what I'm
favorite.
talking about.
That's
I
a
haven't
really-
seen it. I haven't been in there yet, but I've been hearing people talking about it.
It's a,
Oh, I lucked out. I don't know how I ended up, but we got to go.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was something else.
Well, how did you look at it, John?
I got to go through this program through social services and since up there. It was awesome, man. It was delicious.
That steak up there at the Red House, or Red
Is it
Room.
red, what is it?
Red Room, or Red Room?
No,
Yeah, it's Red
no.
Room. It's the
It is a
Red Room.
red room.
Yes,
Oh, it is it?
It sure is. It's called
It's
the Red
red?
Room in
It is not.
downstream. And
It's
it's
red
red,
something, but it's not red room, red
yeah, it's Red Room,
embers or something.
and they actually sell their
Red
own
room, that's like in
room.
the shop.
They sell their own beef. The quapaw.
Oh, yeah,
right,
they
that's
bring
right.
their
Yeah, yeah.
own bison.
Through their casino. And that is something that Osage.
They
It's
have,
amazing, yeah. it
well,
was-
they have
yeah.
their own,
They have their own slaughterhouse, and they have
Yeah.
their own
well, and it's,
processing plant.
it's USDA certified.
Yeah,
Okay.
I took a tour.
We're gonna,
up and
we're
down.
gonna stop here at this point for you guys, so that way we can all stay
And
together.
then I talked to the.
So let me get you a couple bags, get you guys names
Set it
on
all
there.
up.
We on
Even
track.
did the agriculture.
Yeah.
The
All
own
together.
vegetables.
But we'll be here tomorrow, we're going to make
Sure.
sure.
There you go.
Greenhouses and stuff. And
Yeah, me too. I'll learn how to work this team tomorrow. I'm
Really?
excited. Yeah, yeah, because of the
Alright.
class.
There was
We were
ever
interested.
a,
Well,
um,
one good thing I can say, I took sewing 101 on
the overall-
Yeah.
that. So I know kind of a little bit about it.
Yeah, you're gonna have a leg up on that.
And then they give their buffalo, they're raising two kind of buffalo. They're raising actual buffalo, and then they're raising the mixed one. And then they got cattle.
Beefalo.
Yeah, beefalos.
Uh-huh.
They call them.
Man,
Those are good.
their beef is delicious up
It
there.
is,
Do we need to save this?
They're,
I would say if you're Chinese, you could say that too. Yeah, that would definitely come in handy.
it's like that commodity cheese because we're. I have that. I said, I'll take that.
And then one thing you guys can always do with just outlines and tracings is like, you could actually cut this in here and put it on your foot and see how it fits. You know, if you're at home working with your own leather, which is very expensive, you know, you might want to do this first. And then you cut it, and then you would just set it on there and see how it, make sure it covers everything. You could actually do it. Yeah, this is yours. So like, I was saying before, like when I make moccasins, I save all my templates. So like and I'll write the name of whatever I make for there, this is the time, this is the age. So like I know like this is a 3-year-old, this is a 1-year-old. And then especially for the men's too, because you'll make a ton. And then if you like kind of use on this hard paper, you always kind of have that template for later. You can recreate it.
So is that what you gotta do, Gage?
What?
Make that tongue?
Yeah, for male moccasins, we'll have that tongue and that drawstring.
Mhm.
So we're meeting again next Monday?
Next Monday, yeah. And then we'll be here.
String
And
them
then
together.
we should be able to put them together then.
You'll be able to do one at least for sure. You just kind of take your time.
You be able to walk out with them?
You can walk out with them, yeah. You can take off your dad's side.
That's what I'm talking
about.
That's what I'm talking about.
You broke in by the time you get home, but yeah.
We're not live anymore, we're froze up.
Do we freeze up?
It's not as white, but you can say they're like.
No, we're still going.
We're not live anymore, we're froze up. Oh, no, wait, it's just back on.
Okay, so yeah, that's it for today, I guess.
That was a class.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Great students. You guys make nice moccasins. Thank you, young
Do we
man.
clean our area?
Yeah, just kind of get your stuff in a little pile, get the trash over there, but like a lot of these scraps we actually save. We use them to make chokers and bandoliers. Try not to waste nothing.
Okay.
But you guys are good. We'll take care of it.
We'll see you later. Yes.
Oh, be careful on your drive.
Yeah, right on. Thanks for coming.
Oh, we have new viewers. Darn it. Hey.
Well,
Should've did that
thank you for
earlier.
tuning in. I'll answer these questions when I get a chance to sit down, but we'll be back next Monday and we'll try to broadcast more classes. Thank you very much.